You're listening to Rabbi Aryeh Wolbe of Torch in Houston, Texas. This is the Jewish Inspiration Podcast.
And now, my dear friends, we continue on day 188 on page 978. Kach inyan neshamah, this is the soul. Hi bas melech, so lofty, it's like the daughter of a king. She's the princess. The soul of a person. We have to realize the soul is very, 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 very precious. We ask, Elokai neshamah shenasata bi, that soul that you placed within me, Tehorahi, it's pure. Ata viraso, you created it. Ata yitzarta, you made it come to being. Ata nefachta bi, you instilled it within me. Ata mishamer b'kibi, and you're the one who keeps it within me. And we ask for Hashem to purify it. So what is this lofty soul? Mikisi akovod v'huva begufa meluchlach asher chishko rav me'od la'olam hazeh. What does that body want? That filthy body. What does the body want? The body wants me. The body wants now. The body wants food. Feed me. I want materialism. I want the things that make me feel good. That's what I want. That's the body. But what does the soul want? The soul is godly, heavenly. And we have this constant conflict between our soul, our lofty soul, and our lowly bodies. This is the challenge, my dear friends. This is the challenge that we all face, every single human being. V'yeshlo kama mine tavos ad shenitbu haneshama shehi bas melech. This body has so many desires and urges to the point where it almost forgets that it's such a lofty soul that's within us. You know, I consider that when a baby is born, it cries. Why does it cry? You're starting life. What's the big deal? So great. Your mommy's going to hold you. Your daddy's going to hold you. They're going to take care of you. You know why? Because it's in prison. Till now, he was in a world without any distraction, closeness with God, a world you can see from one side of the world to the other, in the womb, because he was living in a spiritual realm. Comes into this world, locked into the rib cages, are like a prison cell for the soul. It's looking out, saying, get me out of here, I'm limited, I don't want to be here. I could be great, but now I'm limited. But that's the point. Why does God put a lofty soul in such a lowly body? A body that desires, give me a good drink. Give me food. I want physical pleasures. I want things to just please my body, to please my eyes, to please my ears. Sense, aromas for my nose, all of our senses. That we keep on desiring to fulfill their desires and temptations. Why do we need this? Why did God do this? Because our job as servants of Hashem is to take what God gives us and to elevate it. Sexuality could be something which is very lowly. Go look in the world. It's not a concept of something clean or holy or dignified. Take it in Judaism. Properly, between a husband and wife, it's the holiest of holy. I heard my grandfather say this myself. When he got married, right after one of his Sheva Brachot, the 7 days in which after you celebrate after the wedding, so great rabbi came to one of them and he said to him, so you're in your new apartment? He says, yes. He says, tell me, what's the holiest room in your apartment? He says, my grandfather answered him and he said, where all my books are, where I study Torah. That's the holiest room. He said, no, that's not your holiest room. The holiest room is your bedroom. We have to understand that the physical, that the world looks at as just being ordinary physical pleasures, done right, is the loftiest, most spiritual experience. Where you don't just be physical, but you're taking and elevating the physical to something which is way beyond. just physical. The more we get indulged in the physicalities of this world, the more we forget how lofty and dignified that soul is. And when we learn Torah, then it awakens. The Torah awakens that soul and says, you know what? You're really holy. You're really special. That jiggle that you have after class, Mark, that excitement, that energy, that's your neshamah saying it's so much more than physical. It's not my body that enjoys a class. It's my neshamah that enjoys a class. When we learn Torah. When we look at the heavens and the earth and the stars and the moon and the sun, and we see how they operate so perfectly in harmony. That they were created by God, the same God who created us. So what happens now? The neshamah, which was also created by God, just like the sun and the moon and the heaven and the earth, and everything that's in it, also created by God. When we learn Torah, then the more it learns, the more it's inspired, the more it becomes connected with the clothes of royalty. It realizes I can't sell myself cheap. I can't be vain. I can't be crass. I'm a holy neshamah. V'gam afilu adam she'eino yodea kol zeh. And even a person who doesn't know all of this. Rak kishechoshev lemala me'omek halev. When a person just thinks a little bit higher than his physical human heart. Umavchin gevuros ha'el baruch hu. And he's able to discern the greatness of God's deeds. Oz yilbash mora'o belibo. Then the fear of heaven is overcoming a person. As the verse states, lift up your eyes on high and see mi bara ele, and see who created these. Hamotzi b'mispar tzva'am l'chulam b'shem yikra me'rov onim v'amitzkoach ish lo ne'adar. He who brings out their host by number, calling all of them by name in abundance of power and greatness of strength. None is missing. You understand the great power? We're able to connect on the highest level imaginable. Hashem did not authorize any nation in the world but Israel to declare his praise. As is written, Shenemar, Am zu yatzarti li, I created this nation, it states in Isaiah, Tihilosi yisaperu, my praise they will tell. Uksiv, in the verse further, it says, Ki am kadosh ata, la Hashem elokecha, you're a holy nation to Hashem your God. B'cha bachar Hashem elokecha, lios lo am segula. Hashem chose you, the Jewish people, to be a chosen people for him. Mikolo amin, from all the nations ashal pnei adama that are on the earth. Uksiv Hashem ha'emircha hayom lios lam segula v'ksiv v'lesitcha elyon el al kol hagoyim. V'gam lo nosan HaKadosh Baruch Hu das l'shum uma ba'olam ladas oso ela Yisrael. No nation been given permission to know Hashem like we do. Uksiv ato. And who is the great nation that has righteous statutes and judgments like all of this Torah? Uksiv es Hashem Elokecha tira oso tovod ubo sidbak umeela apsuka manam le'edim. What do we learn from all of these verses that were mentioned now? Shechayav Yisrael liras Hashem Yisbarach v'lhisasik behegyon toraso v'lekayim mitzvosav. That our job is to fear God and to be immersed and involved in Torah study and observance of mitzvahs. Shemitoch yiras Hashem, because from fear of Hashem goes yisali yasko b'Torah. Because after you fear Hashem, you will learn Torah, and that will lead you to observe the mitzvos. V'kama mitzvos of mitoch esek hagion Torah yavinu perushel, and after your study of Torah, you'll understand the reasons behind. To amel v'chidushel, you will have a broader understanding to the meaning behind each mitzvah. V'yischakmu l'adasas Hashem yizbarach v'koach u'gvuraso u'gdulaso u'ma'asav ha'gedolim v'anuroim v'anifloim, and from that you will see all of the unbelievable greatness of Hashem, His wonderful deeds. And as the Torah tells us, King David tells us, say to God, how awesome is your work. V'ksiv odcha al ki noraos niflesi niflaim ma'asecha v'nafshi yodas me'od. V'ksiv l'chu banim shimu liras Hashem alametchem. All of these verses teaching us our personal responsibility as the nation of God to draw closer to Hashem. Ein davar ba'olam shakol keneged hayira. There's nothing more powerful in the world than fear of heaven. Lo chafatzim v'lo pninim, not jewels and not possessions. V'lo kesef v'lo zav v'lo avanim tovos u'margolios, and not gold and not silver and not all of the precious stones. Nothing is equal. No treasure. V'chomatmonim kulam heim ke'ayin neged yiras hakadosh baruch hu. They are nothing compared to the fear of Hashem. For fear of Hashem is Hashem's treasure. Ki hayira hi otzor shel hakadosh baruch shel Hashem yizbarach. Lachein, therefore, Yemar le'etzor begins ze levavo, davar shehu otzaro shel hakadosh baruch hu. Therefore, a person should open up his heart to that which is the treasure of Hashem's treasure. Shehu otzaro, shehu yotzro. Hashem is our creator. V'yilmad adam me'olam hazeh ki kol adam mishtadel le'etzor hatov ma sheyachol. Every person should try to get connected with the good as much as he can. And someone who can be like the kings, like we mentioned previously, to feel like a king, should do so. Im kain mihu lo ye'etzor ma she'otzar melech malchei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu hamamlich kol malachim. Who then will not store up the treasure of the King of Kings, Hashem Himself, who enthrones kings? What we see here is that when we realize that the greatest thing that we're all searching for ultimately is the closeness of Hashem, that's what we need to invest in. We need to invest in Hashem's Torah that brings us closer to Him. We need to invest in Hashem's wisdom, which brings us closer to Him. We need to invest in the commandments that Hashem commands us with, because it brings us closer to Him. All so that we can have the proper understanding and perspective of our relationship with Hashem. We see that Moshe wanted to see Hashem's greatness. Hashem says, to a point, to a degree, you can see my back, you can't see my front. You can't understand everything. We're never going to be God, but we can be very, very close to God. And we can demand and we can ask for that closeness. The more we invest in our Torah learning, the more we invest in our study, in our performance of mitzvahs, the more we will have that clarity and that ultimate fear, which means an awakening, an understanding of our relationship with Hashem and how blessed we are to be in that relationship. My dear friends, this concludes tonight's program. Thank you so much and have a magnificent week.
You've been listening to Rabbi Aryeh Wolbe on a podcast produced by Torch, the Torah Outreach Resource Center of Houston. Please help sponsor an episode so we can continue to produce more quality Jewish content for our listeners around the globe. Please visit torchweb.org to donate and partner with us on this incredible endeavor.